Yep.
Yeah.
And so as a director, it's always been very hard to figure out, it's like, okay, who do we nominate? Because according to this criteria, nobody measures up.
Yep.
It's almost you need to have like X points if they did between this and this many,
So
or this
having
many
a
or more.
better,
And this will help.
Yeah.
Our hope is this will help better round out
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
our
So it's
vision
good
of
thing.
that Pathfinder throughout the year.
Yeah.
I got a good look at that, and I decided when we had our registration, our director wanted each one of us in our divisions, you know, PBE, TLT, all the different divisions, to have their own space to be able to sit down and talk to the kids. Director went through and talked to all the kids that came through, and I went through that list with each one of them. That I said, okay, what are you choosing to do? And I had already spoken to them on the bus on the way back from Oshkosh, had them fill out all the paperwork, the ones that were there. Not everybody was there, but I had them fill it out, and my intention, I said, let me go through this thing, and I saw all of these these requirements. So I sat there, had copies of it on a music stand, and I gave each one of them and sat down with them and said, this is what you're going to be expected to do in this track, you know. And their eyes light up. It was a lot of stuff, but at the same time, they knew what was expected of them. It was not this, we're going to do some esoteric thing and then, you know, you get checked off. They knew what was expected of them.
It's like a high school accelerated program. I mean, you really have to have the calling to be a leader. It's not for everybody, and it's okay that it's not for all Pathfinders. It's okay. You really want to be a leader.
And ultimately, like I said, for me, my two big goals is A, to keep the youth in the club longer,
Yeah.
which to me translates to keep them into the church longer.
Yeah.
And by giving them this training, not only can they transition into being staff and being able to drop into these positions and do well, it also lets, like Jenny said, it lets us do that in the church as well.
Yeah.
So when a call is put out there for, hey, we need help with this, we know we have youth that are trained to do that.
Yeah.
Or can at least we know that they've done something similar and they can learn this and we
Like
can
be an
teach them and
assistant or something like that.
you
Yeah.
know.
There's one tertiary benefit too, which probably not many people know of yet. Maybe you guys do already because you're working in this. Andrews University is now offering 1 semester scholarship for all 4th years.
Wow.
TLTs.
Bring that back to your club. Bam! Just saying.
Andrews
That's
University is
huge.
offering, and they're offering for a bunch of other reasons too, academic accelerants and so
Sure.
on and so forth. But
But-
one of the new criteria, and I'm hoping that other colleges will pick this up.
Bam.
But for any 4th year TLT who's gone through all 4 years in the program, they're giving 1 full semester scholarship,
Wow.
which
Look at that.
is huge.
Very
I'm
cool.
just saying, it's out there.
Yeah. So yeah, looking at that list again, they know what's expected of them, and we have a way to be able to call them to responsibility on each one, accountability. The one thing though, at the same time, if they haven't been able to do it in the past, how do we make up for it?
Oh, because of
I'm sorry.
because of the way that and the challenges that we've had with it, and we are in a reboot state, we're going to be taking individual clubs that have that challenge on a club by club basis.
Okay.
So, and I know Beltsville is one of them. So James and I, and you guys are blessed in that sense that you have James as one of your church members.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and we're definitely aware of that, and we will work with you on that, and other clubs that I know that have that sort of same situation, and we'll do that. We'll be working with you guys on that.
Okay.
So, you know, don't worry about that.
Thank you. I just wanted to
And
get that
again, that's I think the biggest thing with, like Jenny said, this reboot. We're trying to get everybody on the same page, to use the same manual, to use the same tracks, and get the same requirements.
on. Okay.
That is going to so simplify this process. But we know there's going to be some aches and pains. We know that there's clubs that have not been using the manual the way it was supposed to, and there are kids that they may be 2nd or 3rd year TLTs that really aren't. because they really haven't fulfilled the requirements of the
Yeah.
first, second, or third year, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But again, we understand that. We're working with those. If you have an issue, let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Holly.
TLTs are very busy when it comes to their Pathfinder meeting days, and the rest of their class, who are not TLTs, are able to go and do their classwork. Are we going to be having any, like, TLT Sabbath afternoon?
If the TLT program is run the way it's supposed to, there should not be any TLT that is not able to do their class level works within the time frame of their class. One thing that we wanted to address here, and I wish that there were more directors and lead mentors, because this is one thing we're going to hit hard at the TLT training. TLTs in the past, and it is my mission and Sherilyn's mission and James's mission, TLTs are not, and I will repeat this again and again and again, TLTs are not
Grunt work.
staff. What did I just say?
They're not staff.
They are not staff. They are pathfinders that have decided that they want to be leaders and that have asked to be mentored by people that have wisdom to share with them and have courageously stepped up and asked to be team leaders in a Pathfinder club at their church and want to be mentored. They are not staff. They are not to be teaching class level. They may help in teaching an honor. They may help in teaching a class level. Okay. They are not to be left with Pathfinders if they are 18 and under. 1, it's illegal. 2, it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not part of their job.
Yeah.
They are not babysitters. So again, take this back to your club, spread it like the gossip. I don't care. But TLTs are not staff, and they're not to be treated as staff. They are Pathfinders that want to be mentored to be leaders one day. And any club that is caught, or I hear that are abusing our TLTs in any way, shape, or form, like glorified babysitters, are going to have to deal with me. Because they are no longer going to be used as free labor.
I'm glad to hear that.
Also,
Is that
in-
clear?
in-
Yeah.
Like, did I make myself
No, you
clear,
made yourself
Kevin, right?
very clear.
I'm pretty clear, right, Kevin? Kevin got me, yes?
I also feel that by adding in the Pioneer Navigator, I think it helps.
If you look at
Not that
this,
it's still easier, or the
all the
load is
checkoff
smaller,
says
but it helps
assisted
break it
in
down a little bit more incrementally. And I've seen it at
that's
Beltsville,
the
that
key.
it helps the TLTs do more of this stuff in the normal meeting times,
Yeah.
because they're not trying to pack Voyager Guide, Master Guide into 3 years and still do this at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, you all know, there's so much information and things to be done in just the Master Guide alone. You know, by adding those 2 extra class levels in, it definitely, I think, slows the pace down a little bit so that they're able to do more of this stuff.
My plan, like this year, because I've seen how it was done in the past, and it was like you're saying. I was actually last year told that I, as a lead counselor for the Rangers, that and as a deputy director, that I wasn't supposed to be in the classroom, and I was like, okay, and
What?
I said, yeah, and I was asked, and I said, okay, so who's going to be in the classroom? And I had to coordinate with. Fortunately, I had 2 other counselors. For some reason, that's what my director told me. I had 2 other counselors, and I said, I need to have a counselor in the room with my TLT. And so when the one who I asked and requested, who had, I think, been one of the persons who wanted me to be not in, I said, then let that person be there. And they never showed up. Then I had to get the other person who was really just a helper, but told me they were a counselor, that they were at the class time every time. And my plan this year was to have them met up with the lead counselor, have them assisting, have them teaching certain things and counseling with the lead mentor. But then I need to be able to pull my team out, my TLT out at any point in time, so that they could be able to go and do their classwork.
Yes.
You know, and
That's still paramount. I mean,
yeah.
they are still,
They're-
again, they're pathfinders.
They're pathfinders.
They're still working through a class
Right.
level, and at the end of the year, they need to be invested into the next one.
Right.
Into the next
So
class.
I didn't want them to be in a situation where they were, you know, if they're just sitting there spinning their thumbs, you know, that they're not doing anything. That they need to be there at this, you know, point in time doing this, and then we can come out. Because I'm actually trying to do the Pioneer and Navigator classes. I don't know how it's going to happen, but, you know, I don't want to have to be the one teaching that. I'm still looking for resources. But, yeah.
So, a question.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I like
Question.
that.
So to clarify about TLT in the Pathfinder function itself. So say like Nesco was saying, okay,
Thank
so
you.
we have, say, Jesse is assigned to a friend's class
Yes, ma'am.
to assist. You're saying based on this that lead counselor in friends cannot be her mentor, even though
Yes.
cannot.
It cannot, because the thing is if she's helping out, say she's assigned to a friend's class, then I'm expecting her to be working on her AY classwork track. That's why she's assigned to that class and helping out, so that she can learn how to put a lesson plan together, how to teach these kids. But if she's just being thrown in there, again, as a junior staff member, because you need somebody in there or you think it will do her good, that's not helping her in this process. And no, that staff member, again, we're preferring not to have that staff member as their mentor. Again,
So
that
we're
then
saying
falls
that-
on the lead mentor, or the lead TLT mentor in the club, to then make sure what she's doing according to her track work in that whatever level she's at, she's accomplishing those goals. You know, again, in my mind, what you're saying, and we do it all the time in clubs, a lot of the times we take an older Pathfinder and or a TLT, we throw them with another counselor and say, we'll help them do this
Yep.
and learn.
That's what happened.
And that's not
Yeah.
that's not the purpose of the TLT program. That's not doing justice to them when they want to do this. That's not doing justice to them.
Even when they want to do it.
It's true. Now,
Yeah.
now, granted, if Jessie comes in, she's got all of her classwork done that she needs to be done. You know, you've helped her with what she needs to, and she wants to help out with the class. Sure, absolutely. But that's not the main purpose of her in these tracks. Again, unless it's potentially the AY and the honors work track that she's in, and she needs to be doing some of that stuff.
Because the pushback from a lot of the directors when I first became a coordinator was, they're a Pathfinder and they need to do their class. Okay, that's good. So now we're going to do it, and we're going to run this program the way that it needs to be run. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Either she's a Pathfinder or she's a staff member. She can't be a staff member and then you treat her like a Pathfinder. And she can't be a Pathfinder and then you treat her like a staff member.
I don't think Jenny finished that first thought, because when you said that they say they'll come to us and be like, well, we need them. I have them working and doing this. No, they're a Pathfinder. They need to be doing their work, working on their TLT tracks. Once all that's accomplished, if they want to and you need them to
There
do
you go, that's
something,
what I-
absolutely. You know, we got a lot of that at some of the events where people were getting angry with us because the TLTs were either helping us out or they were working on doing something.
Who's gonna? I
Need
need them
to.
to watch the kids. You need
That's
to
your
do
staff's part. That's your
what?
staff.
That's why I want clarification as to where they are in their club and what they are in the conference level. And you know, you mentioned earlier that with this TLT training coming up, you're gonna invite the pastors and everyone else. But I don't think my director does not think that he
has to be there. Yeah, that's what
And I
think.
think this is something that my director needs.
I'll fix that tomorrow.
Thank
the
you.
email was sent to the directors and coordinators
It's-
and the
I'll fix that
TLT
tomorrow.
mentors.
No,
honest-
because this is something that I think my director needs to know
But
so
it
that
was
he can
sent
have
to
an
him.
understanding.
How can he not know that it's for him?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Maybe overlook the part that say he has to be there.
Yeah.
If it says TLT,
They don't think it's him.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he needs to be there. He needs to see what his pathfinders are being trained to do, so that when
Because again, his signature's still on there.
yeah,
He
and
carries some of that
ultimately,
responsibility load.
he's responsible. I mean, he may be taking the lead in overseeing them, but if something goes wrong, guess what? The church board holds him responsible because he's the director. So he better know what's going on with his teams.
Yeah, so we just need that clarification.
Yeah.
Who is required to be there and who this information is going to be given to, you know. So I
Okay,
think that's
just make it clear. Directors, TLT mentors,
Yep.
TLTs,
And deputy directors.
and any potential pastors or, you know, pastoral staff that wants to show up to see what we're doing. We're certainly opening that up to them. But directors, TLT mentors, and TLTs. That's who we want there next weekend.
Are we going to have this held again? Because not
Well,
all the
we're gonna
mentors
be-
have been identified yet.
We're
Right.
going to. This is was a quick. It's supposed to be a quick overview, but on the 14th, it's going to be more detailed.
And that's two things I was going to get into. That's going to be for, we're not expecting necessarily people from Richmond, you know, to come up for an
There's two
entire day.
trainings.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to do 2 trainings. The first one will be for more of the northern clubs. Anybody's welcome to come, certainly. But that's going to be more northern clubs in January, February. We're going to hold another one, but we're going to move it south so that those more southern clubs can come into that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Any
the
idea
other
how
thing is-
far south?
What's that?
Any idea how far south?
We're not sure yet.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because there's a lot of people that, you know, I'm going to try to videotape the whole thing, but there's a lot of people who may not be, like you said, may not have identified all the mentors yet.
But it's
Sure.
Guys, it's awful early, plus there's clubs that already have their schedule set. And they already have a meeting. I know, you gotta get the ball rolling.
We got to try.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's going to be
gotta
aches and
offer.
pains, but we got to start it somewhere. And
Yes.
even
You
if
gotta
this
start
takes
somewhere.
into next year, till people start putting it on the